You can't save her. Even if you get her out of here, then what?
It ain't for you to decide.
It's what she'd want. And you know it. Look. You can still do the right thing here. She won't feel anything. Wait! Let me go. Please.
You just come after her.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and when will they learn? My guess is never. The folks over at Naughty Dog locking everything down as we've got some new gameplay rolling out, as well as issuing a brand new string of DMCA takedown notices under their cowardly company Muso. Lots to cover with Naughty Dog going on today. Journalists praise Naughty Dog's the latest The Last of Us 2 tweet is troll-proof, for better or worse. It's been a rough stretch for game developer Naughty Dog. By the way, this is via Forbes and Eric Kane, who usually does very good writing. It's been a rough stretch for game developer Naughty Dog, the studio behind Uncharted series of adventure games and the upcoming The Last of Us Part 2. There was first the big Kotaku investigation detailing the brutal levels of crunch workers that the studio faced. Then there was the global everything going on right now that forced yet another delay in the game's release. Then, of course, there was a massive leak revealing a whole bunch of spoilers for the game and stirring up an unhealthy amount of controversy, vitriol, and backlash. Game director Neil Druckmann said that he was, quote, heartbroken after the leak, and one can hardly blame him. No matter your take on The Last of Us Part 2, it's never fun to have all of your work leaked for all the world to see weeks before launch. So it's a little wonder Naughty Dog took advantage of the brand new Twitter feature when they made the latest The Last of Us Part 2 tweet. So basically, when you start looking at Naughty Dog's Twitter now, in most tweets you will no longer be able to respond. In fact, you'll see the conversion between Naughty Dog and people they tag only, essentially turning Twitter into a blogging website. And it's interesting that they have completely locked down their Twitter account. They've just locked it down. Instead of hiding stuff, they have now completely, they didn't just use it on one tweet. The cowards did this on every single tweet. Now, on one hand, I completely understand why they did it. Look, I've been on record before, and I'm going to say it again, that I do not and would not support purposely ruining a video game for someone else. I covered it because, of course, it was news and remains news. But I don't like when people, seek somebody out who likes The Last of Us 2 and then purposely spoils part of the game for them. That's not cool. I've always said, look, let people enjoy something that they want to enjoy. I don't think that there's any real reason other than just being a jerk to spoil it to someone directly. Now, if you're spamming Naughty Dog with hilarious memes, or you're making some of your own memes, that's okay too. This information's out there, and it will be memed. I do think it's pretty cowardly, though, that Naughty Dog has now silenced all criticism. Naughty Dog has, and I don't think it's by the way, any coincidence that after locking down their Twitter account, then a brand new wave of DMCA takedown notices came through, as I'm going to go through in a minute here. Here's what the studio tweeted yesterday, showing off 2 new images of the game, reminding us that it's June 19th release date. Now, the interesting part of the tweet is that the replies, or rather the lack of them. There's a grand total of 0. Nobody is shouting at Naughty Dog in the mentions. Nobody is spoiling the games for other users. It's simply a void. This is due to the new feature that Twitter rolled out in some small percentage to users yesterday. By the way, I got it right away too. So I don't know. A lot of people were saying this is a company only thing. I could do it right away. You can only let people who you basically approve respond to tweets. Naughty Dog has chosen the second option for the latest tweet, and since they didn't mention anyone, no one can respond. With the character limit imposed by Twitter, this option could lead to very limited conversations, in which might be helpful in some circumstances. I'm less sanguine about simply turning off replies altogether, as in this instance, though I do see the appeal. It's sort of like turning off YouTube comments. You could post a controversial video without having to deal with a swarm of angry or vulgar commenters, but it poses risks. There are risks. Those risks were relatively small with a tweet like this. It's unfortunate that Naughty Dog even feels the need to do so in the first place, as it limits the way gamers can interact with the studio in the game, but given the leaks, it makes sense. I worry more about echo chambers. This is why this dude does good work. He always seems relatively unbiased or objective. I worry more about echo chambers, which are already a huge problem on social media. I think we're witnessing the problem growing worse, not better. People who have already cordoned themselves off into social groups they identify with on sites like Facebook, it's always been harder to do that on Twitter. This feature could make it even easier. I suppose I'm mixed on the feature. I've been dogpiled on Twitter before, and it sure isn't fun. Especially when you're being dogpiled by a bunch of people who don't know the first thing about you, but are going off the bad, mean-spirited, cowardly misinformation, someone that they follow instead. This has absolutely happened to me recently with a lot of people on BreadTube, filling up my mentions with people who are just calling me terrible things. Now, obviously, it doesn't bother me. It's more of a nuisance. I only act on it if my own viewers or followers are getting sucked into the misinformation. I don't want or support echo chambers, but I do understand why sometimes, if you're constantly dealing with disingenuous representations of your opinion, I guess I can understand it. There's always a mute option. You can block people. You can do your best to ignore. Though this option is hard given Twitter's nature. Now, this is one of the more even-handed articles. There are a lot more articles out there that were basically saying like, ha ha ha, they're roasting the trolls. Some lucky Twitter users are already using the feature for gimmicky jokes, tweeting out intentionally trolling messages with block replies, and letting followers stew in their inability to answer back. But the Last of Us developers, Naughty Dog, seem to be using this feature for a more noble purpose, blocking the spread of spoilers for the upcoming Last of Us 2. Now, I understand why they did it. I still think it's dumb. I don't think that you're protecting anybody. I think that you actually hinder. This is the same reason I have the same opinion of turning off YouTube comments. You intentionally stifle conversation, which is never good. Many times I've had my own viewers point out mistakes that I've made in my own videos. Without that, if you didn't have comments on, you wouldn't know, and you would just continue going down the road of being incorrect about something and continue being wrong forever and ever. I think that the exchange, though, the exchange of, keeping spoilers out versus shutting down conversation, I suppose makes sense for a company, but I don't know. You see, as of just yesterday and May 23rd, and I see actually the day of the last round for me came on May 25th, so I got hit yesterday. You can see more and more people. IGN, any comments on how Naughty Dog has abused the copyright on YouTube to block and silence people? And you can see IGN saying how Naughty Dog is using the tool to fight The Last of Us 2 spoilers. They're not, and here's the 25th. I just got 2 more DMCA from Naughty Dog. The memes will not stop. Your accounts have been locked. This was 2 hours ago. Hey, Naughty Dog, can you can take your time DMCAing over memes. It's not going to make your game look worse or less bad. I mean, there's a lot of people still talking about DMCA 51 minutes ago. I'm rather disappointed in you, Naughty Dog. I've thought about getting into The Last of Us 1 for a while now, but your poor handling of criticism, hiding then disabling replies, false DMCA takedowns of memes have fully convinced me to spend my money elsewhere. I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That there is a good, I suppose, in keeping people that don't want to be spoiled, but then you also get this. I mean, I got 2 DMCA from Naughty Dog 2 hours ago over a The Last of Us 2 meme WTF. I mean, still, just loads and loads and loads of people. Naughty Dog hit me with a DMCA like a bunch of blanks. Crunches, not crunch. I mean, it's interesting. Your account has been locked. This was 22 hours ago, responding to IGN. I mean, IGN, of course, is going to shill for them, you know, but it's not stopping. You look IGN here, you see all the hilarious memes, the golfing memes, all sorts of stuff like that. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. And if you look at how they got me, here, let's bring this on here. Several of my tweets were now hit again. Interestingly enough, the first one was Naughty Dog has lost their DMCA claims, has been forced to reinstate videos. They DMCA'd that down on a separate Twitter account. They've been going Twitter account from Twitter account to Twitter account to Twitter account, flagging stuff down. Here's another one. Naughty Dog apologists are passing a theory that it wasn't them who struck videos down, but I prove otherwise. Also, Sony patented some creepy spoiler blocking technology just days before the leak. That got struck down. I mean, and then you can see everything. Here's DMCA takedown notice by the cowards at Muso. You know, and here's more. Here's another, I think, everything that I interacted with or that I retweeted. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Plus my 2, I guess, 23 total takedown notices coming through from Muso. Absolutely pathetic. And the longer that Naughty Dog allows this to go on, they are in no uncertain terms agreeing with it, which is disgusting, and I hope it backfires on them. Stop this. It's just such a small thing. I wouldn't even be criticizing you about the blocking the, well, I would have reported on it, but I would have understood it. But the fact that you still have this company working in your behalf out there, putting people's Twitter accounts at risk, is disgusting and needs to stop now. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.